Hi, welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. I am really glad you're here. Today's date is Saturday, June 10th, 2023. In this video, I want to take a look at someone that we've looked at before, but I'm willing to be wrong if I'm wrong, or have a confirmation that I'm right if I was right. I'm speaking of Mel Gibson, who just recently announced that he would be putting out a 4-part documentary talking about child trafficking in the country that starts with you. And our former president, or let's just say 45, retruthed some information about that. Let me show what I'm talking about. I'm going to show you some items that make people, some visuals that make people say, hey, he's not what he seems, speaking of Mr. Gibson. And we're going to do a card read and see just what we should be thinking of Mel Gibson. As always, what I show you will be a compilation available to you on my Facebook page, and I'll have a link to that Facebook page in the video description box for this video. You see, bombshell, Mel Gibson about to expose all of them. This is from Redacted, and it was put out by Truth Now, who's on both Truth Social and Twitter. Okay, child trafficking receives $34 billion a year, and just as a comparison, all the airlines combined earn $22 billion. So he's doing a 4-part series, and that means he will be attacked and vilified. Well, they were correct. It didn't take very long for some people to start sharing this. And if you're familiar with Masonic hand signs, this is a Masonic sign. And this is one, when you hide one eye, the current, I'm not talking historical, but the current meaning of that is showing some allegiance to evil. Let's put it that way, okay? Now, when I've seen this in the past, I thought that was when he was young. So I didn't give it a lot of credence. Maybe you wouldn't either. Now, this does make you think his production company, his being Mel Gibson's production company, is Icon, and for some reason he is showing a singular eye in his icon. Not necessary, there were other images that would have done it. Is he still showing some allegiance to Illuminati Masonic ties? He's older here. And look at this, we have the 666 signs times 2 happening. If he is smart enough to call out the pedophiles that are in Hollywood, the Satanists, he's smart enough to know what that symbology is. Okay, I've got a link here to an article just about the announcing the documentary and the possible collaboration that's happening between Tim Ballard and Mel Gibson. Mel's being quiet about it. And then last but not least, this is just personally, let's look at this. This is who I hope we have. Look who's saluting, and look who he's saluting. And he's not doing it for show. He's caught in the background, showing respect to someone he really respects and admires. It wasn't a photo op. It wasn't calculated. And I hope that's who we find out Mel Gibson truly is. Now, it's said, and I believe, that the strongest who oppose crimes against little ones and Satanism are those who have gotten close enough to get singed by the flames of it, who've said no thank you, who have been made an offer that they turned down. So I have no doubt that when Mr. Gibson ranted on about the Khazarian Mafia, which is what he was truly referencing when he had his rant, or when he's talked about how evil and twisted things are in Hollywood, I have no doubt that he was speaking from having some firsthand knowledge of it. So, like I said, I would like to believe that he came from a place of integrity and resolve, that he got close enough to know fact from fiction and saw that evil and said no thank you. But I'm also willing to believe that he could be controlled opposition, because we're told that evil only allows what it wants to be allowed to be exposed. I don't think they have that kind of a toehold anymore on our reality, but I could be wrong. So let's ask the universe insights and information about Mel Gibson. Okay. Now, not about his project coming out, because the attacks are on him, but I firmly believe no matter what product he puts out, if it is going to open people's eyes to this horrible, horrible victimization and crimes against little ones, it needs to be watched no matter who put it out. I don't care if the worst of the worst put it out. The information needs to be out there. We need to be shoving it in the faces of our sleep-filled family and friends so that they know this is what we're posing. It's all about the little ones. It's all about the little ones. But let's just see, is Mr. Gibson coming at these activities from a place of pure light, partial light, or controlled opposition for the dark, where they realize they have to admit some things, but they want us looking at those and not others? So let's see what the universe has to tell us about this. Is Mr. Gibson operating from a place of light, partial light, or controlled opposition for the dark? Let's find out. We'll find out together. So the person seen in the public eye as Mel Gibson, who's producing a documentary about little one sex trafficking. The attacks have started, and we're asking the universe for insights and information about where his heart truly is on these projects. Is he truly now working for the light, or is he only partially in controlled opposition for evil? Let's find out. Regardless, I hope this production makes it to theaters and streaming services and awareness is raised. But let's find out about where his heart is. Okay, our first card is the Seven of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, Two of Swords, Ten of Swords, Wheel of Fortune, Judgment, Page of Cups. We were asking for insights and information about where the heart of Mel Gibson is, even if his production is worthy on its own. Is he what his naysayers are saying when they bring up past photographic events where he had his hand in a Masonic symbol or did other symbols that, and we are told with evil that will be their downfall, is symbology. Well, I'm still kind of fairly reassured that his heart is in the right place, even if in the past he has been exposed to situations and events that would make us cry. Okay, I say that because with the Seven of Pentacles indicating where his heart is, that's a card of reward and just faith and hard work and understanding that you haven't reaped everything yet. It hasn't all come to pass, but it will. Good things. It's about rewards and potential rewards. It's not about dire consequences. This is all about rewards. So the fact that he is receiving some and expecting more speaks to coming at projects from the right place. King of Pentacles gives us a little more insights. So I'm seeing again that his heart is in the right place, and that people that try to claim that past photographic incidences reflect his character are wrong. They're wrong. The King of Pentacles is a card of sovereignty, which means he's declared his independence from those kind of elements in the past. He's gone his own way. The King of Pentacles is also a good, successful, faithful provider. So again, he's got the ways and means to produce these things and not need to cave in to corrupt pressures. He's at a place in life where he can work for the light and does. In the past, though, he rode the fence for a while, okay? Troubled in his conscience by what he knew and saw, and chose to speak out. This stalemate was ended. When it was ended, he put totally to rest anything in the past that was negative. I say that because we're going to look now at the near future. He's got the Wheel of Fortune card showing up here. The Wheel of Fortune card is always going towards the light. Always. In these complicated times when it shows up, it's never heading towards the dark. Okay, now we get further into the age of Aquarius by a few hundred years. That may change, but right now, at least for my current lifetime, that's showing that going toward the light. So he has said this, any exposure to the dark is simply something he knows of but doesn't participate in, and it's working for the light. He chose his side. He put one side totally to rest. He's definitely working for the light, well aware that he will face judgment for his choices in the future, just like all of us will. And he wants to face that with no fear, no fear. Looks like he'll be able to too, because we've got the Page of Cups showing up. Again, a little more insights, what's going on in his heart and in his life going forward. Page of Cups is a card that shows just a nice hidden blessing on his way. It's also one for success and creativity. So this is by no means the last project that Mr. Gibson will do, and he is going to see success even though he has removed himself from the Hollywood corruption long since. Let's get a few more cards and see if anything changes my mind or opinion about what's happening with Mr. Gibson. Okay, we have the Five of Swords, Ace of Swords, Ace of Swords showing up here. That's a victory and success, success, success. Okay, his heart's in the right place, absolutely. Okay, yes, his heart's in the right place. He's even got the Emperor's ear here, which we know because that was Mr. T was the one that retruthed that, saying he would be attacked. And just a nod here too. There are two forces at play always, but the one that's going to be the victor is the light, the light. And the Hierophant isn't necessarily an evil energy, but it does tend to be one that because it talks about structures and just believing in established routines and narratives and things like that. So yeah, there's going to be some narratives out about him. As I showed you, evidenced from those photos in my compilation. But they're not what's predominant here. What's predominant here is working for the light, having made a very conscious choice to do so also. So while he is aware of and was exposed to things like that in his past, he is working for the light. I'm not saying this card had the potential to show that he's doing some controlled opposition, but I'm not reading it that way. It's not feeling that way. Okay. It's just not, there's too many light-filled cards here talking about his character and his life. Well, let's recap. The attacks on Mel Gibson have indeed started because he has announced that he is doing a 4-part documentary about the little one sex trafficking crimes that are occurring worldwide. And well, it was my belief, and I shared it with you, that no matter where his heart truly lays, this is an important topic. It's always been said that what's going to unite the world is our little ones, knowing what's happened to them, and just a resolve as a human race not to have it happen again. But I decided, let's read and see where his heart truly is. Now, we got an indication for him here that he is he's reaping some rewards of hard work, and there's more to come. This is a card of success, okay? And that, again, that he's going to be successful. The King of Pentacles is a card of sovereignty and success and generosity, and so he's going to be successful. Now, in the past, he definitely faced a decision: be with the light or not. Okay, and I got this card showing that a decision was made. Now, when we look at the near future, we get a little more insight about what that decision was. The Wheel of Fortune showed up. The Wheel of Fortune's always turning, and it turns towards the light. So I got the information that he turned towards the light despite what he may have known of and been exposed to or part of when he was young. Okay. In the near future, we got the Judgment card. And that's an insight card that was sitting right next to the Wheel of Fortune, which told me that he was very aware that ultimately he was going to have to answer for his actions and his words, and he wanted to be on the right side of things when he did. Got the Page of Cups, which shows success and a hidden lesson coming. So again, he will see some reward for those choices, for stepping out of the Hollywood matrix and being independent and speaking out against evil. And then interestingly enough, our last cards were the Emperor, my ultimate white hat card. And he does seem to have the regard of Mr. T, and based on that photo I showed you in the compilation, it's reciprocated, and they're very respectful of one another. Now, the Hierophant can sometimes signal some deep state activity or just presence, but it's also about moving forward and doing so sometimes in a more formal and standard way. So this can be, I think, a reference to the fact that he is creating a documentary. He being Mel Gibson is going to create that documentary, and it's going to have enough elements in it that are mainstream that it's going to be accepted and viewed and worth time. Now, in the meantime, while the naysayers are out there and trying to assassinate his character, you can make your own mind up about it. Regardless of what you end up feeling speaks of this man's character, the product he is preparing is the one that is pivotal to the human race, making some huge changes. And that is when we unite and say no more crimes against our little ones. So with that knowledge that that's what his endeavor is about, I wish him every success, even if I end up being wrong and my assessment of his character and where he's coming from is wrong. His project is light-filled, and I think he is too. And if I'm wrong, I'd rather be wrong in this way than others. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you. I send you love and light and all things bright. I'll see you again soon. Bye.